Did you know that Kylie Jenner had her first baby at just 20? Sounds young, right? Well, she's not even close to being the youngest celebrity mom. Today we're jumping straight into the lives of famous women who became mothers way earlier than you'd expect. Some of them were teenagers, some had the world watching, and all of them faced judgment, pressure, and responsibility before most of us even knew how to adult. Let's start with one of the most shocking stories. Jamie Lynn Spears. She was only 16 when she announced her pregnancy. At that time, she was the bubbly star of Nickelodeon's Zoe 101, and her announcement literally made headlines everywhere. The media backlash was intense. Parents were furious, tabloids went crazy, and Jamie had to make a choice: keep chasing fame or step away. She chose her daughter. She left Hollywood, moved back to Louisiana, and raised her child quietly, far from the cameras. Years later, she opened up about how difficult it was being a teen mom in the spotlight. She faced isolation, judgment, and postpartum struggles. But she's since returned to acting and music, stronger than ever. Before the glamorous red carpets and sitcom stardom, Sofia Vergara was just a 19-year-old single mom in Colombia. She gave birth to her son Manolo while still trying to figure out what she wanted from life. Not only was she incredibly young, but she also had to deal with tragedy. Her older brother was murdered during that same period. After moving to the US, Sofia started modeling to support her son. She barely spoke English and faced cultural barriers, but her determination was unstoppable. Eventually, she broke into Hollywood and became a global star. Manolo, now an adult, is super close to his mom, and Sofia says raising him was her biggest achievement. While Beyoncé was becoming a global icon, Solange was dealing with something totally different: motherhood at 18. She had her son, Jules, in 2004 and chose to step out of her sister's shadow. Instead of touring the world, she focused on building a life for her son and exploring music in her own style. Solange has been vocal about how becoming a mom so young gave her discipline. It wasn't easy. She went through divorce, relocation, and struggled with her identity as a young black mom in the spotlight. But she never gave up. Today, her music is celebrated for its honesty and soul, and Jules is often seen supporting her at events. Kylie's story is one of the most talked about. At just 20, she gave birth to her daughter Stormy in total secrecy. No paparazzi shots, no public bump photos, just silence. And then she dropped a beautifully edited YouTube video that told the entire story. Critics were harsh. Some said she was too young, others said she was irresponsible. But Kylie had a different idea. She wanted to protect her peace. And now, she's raising 2 children while running a billion-dollar cosmetics empire. She's often said motherhood made her more focused and emotionally aware. And honestly, seeing how she balances business, fame, and family, it's kind of impressive. Hilary Duff, the ultimate 2000 teen star, had her first child, Luca, when she was 24. At that time, her Disney days were behind her, and she was starting to rebuild her adult image. She's been super open about parenting, from the highs of snuggles and birthdays to the lows of sleepless nights and co-parenting challenges. Hilary often shares her life on social media, and fans love how real she is. She once said that becoming a mom made her braver, more selfless, and more grounded. And even with all the chaos of Hollywood, she's kept her family life refreshingly normal. Fantasia's story is one of survival and strength. Before winning American Idol in 2004, she was already a single mom. She had her daughter Zion at just 17, dropped out of school, and lived in poverty. Her victory on Idol wasn't just about talent, it was about redemption. And throughout her career, she's talked about the struggles of being judged, especially as a young black single mother. Fantasia went through depression, financial troubles, and even attempted suicide. But she came back stronger, remarried, had more children, and credits her daughter as her anchor through all the storms. Brandy was America's sweetheart in the late 90s and early 2000s. At 23, she gave birth to her daughter Sirai and tried to keep it out of the public eye. But the tabloids didn't make it easy. She eventually revealed that the relationship with the father had ended before Sirai was born, and that she had felt pressure to pretend to be in a committed relationship just to avoid judgment. Today, Brandy and her daughter are incredibly close. They even sing together on social media. Brandy says motherhood made her more compassionate and taught her how to forgive, not just others, but also herself. Niki Taylor was one of the biggest supermodels in the 90s. While most models her age were walking fashion weeks, she was raising twin boys at 19. She took a step back from modeling and focused on motherhood, despite pressure from agencies. She later returned to the industry and even survived a near-fatal car crash. Niki often says being a young mom taught her strength, resilience, and the power of patience. Her twins are now adults, and she's still modeling and mentoring young women in the fashion world. Mayim is not just a TV star, she's a neuroscientist too. At 22, she gave birth to her first child while earning her PhD. She's been very open about her parenting style. She practices attachment parenting, meaning co-sleeping, extended breastfeeding, and baby wearing. Some people criticized her methods, but Mayim stood firm. She's also written books about motherhood and continues to advocate for respectful, informed parenting. Balancing science, acting, and motherhood, that's some next-level multitasking. Keisha was only 13 when she starred in Whale Rider and became the youngest woman ever nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars. Just 3 years later, at 16, she was pregnant. The media went into a frenzy, but Keisha didn't let that stop her. She stepped back from Hollywood for a bit to focus on her daughter. Today, she continues to act, mostly in New Zealand, and advocates for mental health in young mothers. Before becoming an Oscar-winning actress and producer, Reese was a young mom. She had her daughter Ava at 23 with then-husband Ryan Felipe. She's said that motherhood gave her a sense of urgency, that she had to hustle harder and smarter because someone was depending on her, and she did just that. From Legally Blonde to Big Little Lies, Reese has shown what's possible when you combine ambition with motherhood. Cardi's rise to fame was explosive, and she gave birth to her daughter Culture right in the middle of it. A lot of people said it would slow her down, but Cardi kept going. Tours, albums, fashion shows, you name it. And all the while, she stayed vocal about how motherhood changed her perspective on life, money, and her legacy. She's raw, unfiltered, and fiercely protective of her daughter, and people love her for it. Whether they were 16 or 25, these women proved that motherhood doesn't have to pause your dreams. It might make the path tougher, the nights longer, and the critics louder. But in the end, they showed the world what strength really looks like. So next time you hear someone say, "She's too young to be a mom," think about Jamie Lynn, Fantasia, Kylie, or Solange. And remember, sometimes the hardest path builds the strongest women. If you found these stories inspiring, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and leave a comment. Which celebrity mom surprised you the most? Or maybe you know another we should have added? Thanks for watching, and huge respect to all the moms out there, no matter their age.